welcome again to Let's Keep It With Our Boy Miss Girl 101. My name is Lydia Boachiwe, and today we're going to be talking about life after divorce. Our resource person will join us shortly and we'll get right into it. But whilst we wait for her, we'd like to thank our sponsors who help us to bring you this conversation month on month. Sometimes we have to pay our resource persons, sometimes we have to give them some packages, like something little to say thank you for their time and their insights on this session, and they help us to do that month on month at Fragrances and More GH, Volta Matte, Pavon Concepts, Picture Magic, Original Borai GH, Be Nice Kitchen Services, Pounds World, Triple Tree GH, Wide West African, Jira Events, Jew Sports, and Beauty Within Haven. So thank you very much, our sponsors, for helping us bring this conversation month on month. Tonight, we are going to be talking about life after divorce. Our resource person is here. Let me just pin the topic. Life after divorce. Thank you so much for choosing to spend your evening with us. Yes, our resource person is here. Hi, Akosia.
Hello, Lydia.
Please tell us a little about yourself.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm Akosia Ingwa from the eastern and western region of Ghana. A single mother of two, a divorcee for about 8 years now, an entrepreneur, and an African, a Ghanaian. So that's the little that I can say about me.
You didn't tell them that you're a hard girl. Okay, so people, as we mentioned earlier, today we are going to be having a discussion on life after divorce. Nobody envisions that I'll get married, I'll get divorced. Even when we're in relationships, we usually don't think about breakups and all that, but it does happen. Sometimes these things happen. What do you do? What's next if this should happen to you? And we have Akosia here, having been divorced for over or about 8 years. And today she's going to have a conversation with us. You know how we do here, we keep it real. And simply put, divorce, would like to define divorce as a legal dissolution of marriage by a court or other competent body. So the legal dissolution of marriage, like by a court or other competent body. As Ghanaians, we have the one that they do at home, where you return the drinks if it's the woman that's asking, or the woman's family return the drinks, whichever way it is. So Akosia here is a divorcee, a mother of two, like she said, an entrepreneur. This girl is a hard girl. Like I've known her for about 5 years now, and she's really tough. Yeah, and she has
Lydia, I turned 40 last May.
Oh, just look at that. Just look at that. Just look at that. Amazing. And thank you so much for accepting our invitation, Akosia. I know this is not an easy conversation to have, because we tried to actually get a man on so that we'll have two perspectives, but they were all running. So you are a tough girl. Yes. So Akosia, we'll get right into it. I want to find out from you, at what point did you realize that divorce is the only option?
When the feeling was no more there. Yeah.
Which
when the feeling when the feeling was no more there, the abuse, the emotional abuse, it's a whole lot. So I got married in 2011.
Okay.
And beginning, it was all rosary. It was fun. It was beautiful. But you know, when you're in a relationship and you see some red flags, don't ever think that once you get married, that red flags or that thing that the person is doing that you don't like will stop. It will even worsen up. And I was that type that it's hardly for me to bring an issue. It's hardly for me to take an issue to my family or his family. So I was keeping things to myself. I was keeping things to myself. And after my first child, I decided like I can't do it again. So in fact, I packed my things out from the house and went to live with a friend. He went to my family and blah blah blah. We talked. They called me and we talked. They said I haven't brought an issue to them, so they think that this guy is good, this guy is that. In fact, they were even supporting him.
Okay.
And you know me, and this guy he looks very calm with his sweet talks. So you leader, you see me Akosua talking and looking as a calm person, you would definitely say that, oh, the fault is from Akosua.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's troublesome.
But in fact, not me in marriage. And even if there is something that you should even consider, maybe if he's taking care of you, then you have to consider that, oh, after all, he's taking care of me, so let me sit in. But there was nothing like that. It's like I'm in a marriage and it's like married at the same time and being single at the same time. Because I was doing everything for myself and for my baby. I know the family, they will not support you with divorce. So they said, you have to go back. I have to pack back again and got him. And I said, okay, let me have a second child. That was when my second baby also came after 2 years. And second baby, that one, it was even worse. The curses that was coming out from him, a little thing, it was hell. Especially when I was heavily pregnant. And when you marry, you have to follow your husband to his church. I followed him to his church. I was going to his church. When you go there, then you become a laughing stock there.
No.
So I decided before, but I was pregnant. And you know this African, they say when you are pregnant, you're not supposed to divorce, you're not supposed to do this and that. So I have to wait till I delivered. And you know, it's like we were two strangers living in the same house. He doesn't eat my food. He doesn't give me any money. And when he feels for sex, before he comes to you, like to force you. And you know, the feeling is not there. That's where the feeling comes in. When you hold me, I will not feel anything. In fact, when you hold me or you try to force me, I'll be even insulting him in my head and struggling with him. There was no feeling, there was no love there at that moment. Beginning, there was love. But when you go to that, you realize that you are being married to a total stranger. The abuse is even more than even he beating you. If he used his hand or even a belt to beat you, you even like it that way than he being emotionally, verbally, everything was not going on well. So that was where I decided. But you know, I was pregnant, so I had to wait till I delivered.
Wow.
So after delivery, around 3 months, then I took that step. Move away from the relationship.
Okay. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. We thank God for your life. Would you say that divorce is easier if both of you want it? Would you say that?
Yeah, divorce is easier if both of you want it.
Okay.
That one, there's a mutual understanding, mutual agreement that you've all agreed that, okay, let us go our separate ways. But in my case, he didn't agree. He was not ready to pack out.
Okay.
And I was ready for the divorce. I was eager, wanted a divorce. So I took in that step, and it wasn't easy for me, especially with 2 children. And that time too, I was not working. And being an unemployed, and at the same time, I had given birth. I'm a nursing mother for like the baby was about barely 3 months.
Yeah.
And yes, still, I just stood my ground that no, I couldn't continue this relationship again. So I have to move out. So it wasn't easy. But once If the two of you agreed that, oh, you want to go out, you want to go your separate ways, that one is the decision of the two of you. So it's the easiest way. But when one agrees and the other one disagrees, that's the toughest one. That you have to go to hell before you can be free, because he or she will frustrate you before you be granted that divorce. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Akosia, you said in the beginning of the marriage, it was nice, you were in love, you were happy, it was rosy in your words. But then along the line, things started going downhill. Would you say that you stayed on in the marriage before you packed out the first time? You stayed on because of your child. You had a child. Would you say that your child was the reason why you stayed, even though things were
Yeah.
going bad?
Child was the reason. Initially, I neglected that thing, that your child, so you have to. But when my family called me, and you know, family, definitely no one will support you in this relationship, or in this divorce, so that in future you will not even mention their name. That was what they would say. But when they called me to talk to me about, look at your child, she's too young. That one, to the first child, the first child was around 5 months when I decided to move out from the relationship. They called me and they said, and even one auntie also said that, oh, if you have, at least if you have two children with him, and even in future you don't get married again, or you don't have children, at least you have two children with one man, which it sounded clear to me. And with other persuasion from other family members, then I decided to go back again. That was my worst nightmare. He even told me that me coming back again, I should expect something worse.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. So would you say that's a lot that you had to go through? Would you say that you have recovered from the divorce? First of all, emotionally, and then financially, and then we'll come to the stigma. But let's start with emotionally. Would you say that you recovered from the divorce?
Yes, emotionally, I have recovered. I think 90%. Though it's been long,
Yeah.
but you know what I went through in that house and in that man's house, it's more than hell. If there's something more than hell there. So sometimes when you meet somebody and the person you try to be nice with you or try to lure you into a different relationship, you get scared, especially when you have children. How are your children going to cope with a new person? And what if, every relationship, they have it also, or day. These people, some of the guys will come as a nice person. Yeah, even some of them are chameleon. So there's this fear in me. They say, oh, initially it was too much, but now it has reduced more. That's why I'm saying that it's about 90%. But sometimes I just have this feeling that, oh, I'm scared. What if that thing happens? And going into another relationship and it doesn't work again. African and Ghanaian stigma, they will all say that, oh, it's from you. Yes, the fault is from you. It's because of you, that maybe because of your first relationship, you did this and that. That's why it couldn't work. And if this one too doesn't work again, the blame will come back to you again. And it will become like a stigma on you. Wherever you go, oh, they will point at you. Oh, this girl, this lady, oh, she has married about 2 times or 3 times, which I don't want to. That is why I've just relaxed and to live my life and have time for my children. Though it's not easy, but
Okay, so you mentioned that emotionally you would say that you are 90% recovered. What about on the family side? For instance, me, I don't really like to do a lot of family things because of some questions that people ask. I don't want to have that hassle and that stress. my auntie's funeral is next week, and my sisters are stressing me that let's go. I'm like, I'm not going. Not because I didn't love my auntie or anything, but I don't want to go through all that stress of people asking me about my marriage and hey, your kids and all those things. I'm not ready for that. Would you say that you are still traumatized on that aspect where there's a certain stigma in church, in like among your friends that or people that
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yeah. It's still there, especially with my family and with even the church. So
Okay.
because of that, I have to stop that church.
Okay.
Yes, I have to stop that church and go to a new church. But I am a Methodist.
Okay.
He was a charismatic, so I have to go back to my Methodist.
Okay.
And my family, some of them they will say it for you to hear. Some of them too, they won't say it, but they are gestures.
Yeah.
And they will even go and say it somewhere else. Even my own family member will even go and gossip at a different place, and they will come and tell me that because of your broken marriage, your aunt or your uncle, they are saying this and that. My own family people, they were rather selling me out. So in such situation, like as you said, I've also withdrawn from them. It's hardly for me to go to this family gathering. It's hardly for me to go to this family gathering because when you go, the way they will say, and everybody goes with their husband and their children. And when you go, somebody knows, but they will intentionally ask you, hey, now baby. Look at this. Meanwhile, you know that I'm a divorcee. And the way they will be eyeing you and stuff. So a family side too, it hasn't been easy. I see a boy so it's my own family who are selling me out. But it's all good.
Yeah. Okay. So okay, in terms of the monetary side, would you say that divorce is expensive? Getting a lawyer, going to court, all that. Would you say it's an expensive process?
It's very, very expensive.
Okay.
Very, 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 very expensive.
Okay.
Because me, for instance, I was unemployed. And yes, till I said I won't divorce. I went to legal aid. And I was going to legal aid every now and then. And when you go and they give you a letter to go and give it, he will not even come.
So it's dragging on and dragging on.
Yes. And moreover, he was not even taking care of the kids. If he was bringing him small money for the kids housekeeper, legal way. He was not doing that. School fees, their upkeep, their clothes, nothing. He decided to frustrate me. He even said it told his friends that she will come begging.
Okay. Okay. The mention of God, it brings me to one comment we have here. Were you praying that your things will turn around before you finally decided to leave? Were you praying that God save my marriage and all that?
I was praying. In fact, I prayed. But it's like I don't know how to call this. As a baby, if the person, when you see the person, this anger pops up in you. So I had to. I stopped praying, and every time this insult and blah 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 in the house, how will you even pray? So I decided to stop and just move out from the relationship.
Okay. Okay. So a lot of people are asking about the red flags. We'll come to that later because it's one of the questions we are going to discuss. But I want to ask you this. In fact, it still comes back to the red flags. Would you say that the reason for your divorce, I have heard this saying over and over again, that what will break up the marriage is evident from the beginning of the marriage. Would you say that in your case, whatever red flags that you saw that made you realize that, Charlie, I can't stay anymore, would you say that it was evident when you were dating?
Yes, it was evident when I was dating.
But you were believing
But
God.
I was No, I thought like oh, he would change. You know, some of the female, we think like, oh, this person, he will change, but you know, he will not change.
Okay.
Once you get married to the person, it becomes worse. It's only few of them, very few, like let's say 1% or 2%, that will change. But for the rest, it won't change. It's either it will be the same or it will even be worse.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Say, obi ma usika, only bemati no ma usika, or he doesn't even care about you. Do you think when you marry him, he will shower money on you?
He doesn't know how to do it, so he won't just start.
So he will do it.
Yeah.
So this is part of the red flags.
Yeah.
Relationship, you know, dating is beautiful than marriage. So if the dating, whilst we were dating, he couldn't do certain things that you needed for him to do to you. What about marriage? Will he do it? He will not do it because he doesn't know how to do.
Okay. So you continued because you believe that he will change when you get married.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. But you are now of the view that whatever you are seeing in dating, the red flags, if you really can't live with it, then you need to deal with it before you move to marriage, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So your family's expectations, you left, they asked you to come back, and then you left again, you know. But me, I'm from BA, and my people really believe in marriage is prestigious. If you are married, yes, then they see that also why you do, like they don't even care if you don't have a job, you don't have anything to your name. So as you are married, you have their respect. So if you choose, if today, God forbid, touch wood, but I decide to get a divorce, I'm sure my whole village will come to my house and come and tell me to get some sense, you know. So how did you navigate that? Like, family is expecting you stay married, or we like your husband is a good man, it's hard to get a man to marry, and you're telling them that things are hard, there's emotional abuse, there's verbal abuse, and they are still forcing you to stay. How did you navigate that? How were you able to stay strong and say that no, I'm leaving whether you like it or not?
You know, I fought, Papa.
I see.
In fact, I fought with my uncle.
I think we lost you a bit, so if you can take that again. You said you fought with your uncle.
I fought with my uncle because they were not ready to help me. So it was back and I gave it to them. They also gave it to me.
Okay. But eventually they accepted.
I'm going my way. That was when my mother talked to my uncle that this girl, that she said she's going away. In fact, I even went. I took some steps. I went alone to my ex-husband's family. I took their drinks to them. When I went to Gofobia, this person said he's not taking because he's not the one who stood in. And I went to somewhere, Ashanti region, somewhere there. And when I got there, he called my ex-husband. He said, "Don't take it." So the man said, "You didn't." And I asked somebody, an older person, said, "If they don't take it and you leave it in the compound, it's the same divorce." So I was timing the man, and the man left the house, and I told the man, "Okay, I'm going," and I went to hit somewhere, and the man went to the farm, and I quickly went to put the drink there, and went back to the station to board the car. The car too was not getting full. Unfortunately, the man also brought the drink back to me in the car. So they didn't take, and I went back to my uncle that they have left me. I don't think if my father were to be around, he would have done that. So when I told my uncle that, that was when my uncle broke down and decided to follow me.
Wow. That's a lot. So I know I've been teasing you that you have a boyfriend, but how has it been? after you divorce? You touched on it a bit, but if you can throw more light on it, how has it been being a divorcee and getting? Do you sometimes feel like you want to date again? Does being a divorcee impact you being able to even date again? Like, you become so cautious. Like you were touching on it earlier, but if you could shed more light on that.
Yes, sometimes I feel like dating again. Or sometimes they invite me out. I meet some people. I meet some people, like they invite me out, but after a while with conversation, I just feel scared if they propose to me, and I feel scared again that when I go and it doesn't go well with me, especially when you are dating and my children too are growing, and you are certain about this person and you introduce him to them, and tomorrow it doesn't work again. What would the children think about their mother? So sometimes I consider the children that if this thing doesn't go on well, they will think otherwise about me. And I can't be showing them different kinds of men, which is bad. So that's how it has been. So I'm being real. I just want them to grow a little for them to understand certain things, so that when I take another step, they will agree with me and they will understand me.
Okay. I could say you're a beautiful woman, so I'm sure that in the near future you probably accept.
Oh.
Yeah, but then okay, what about the kids? How do you think they've been in all this whole situation? They were very young, but growing up without their dad in the picture and all
They
that.
were very young, especially the first one. She knows that we are no more.
Okay.
But the second one doesn't know the father. In fact, when the father is in front of her, she'll not be able to identify, because she was about 3 months when we broke up, and the father didn't come looking for them. So she doesn't know. She doesn't know. She doesn't know them. And I've been with them, try to provide, to do my best for them, so that they will not feel that vacuum.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so Akusia, we're about to come to the end of the conversation. But what is your advice to people in relationships in general? So they are not married, but people who are dating. What would you advise them?
Oh, okay. Generally, as I said earlier on, the red flags are the most important thing. So when you are dating somebody and there are certain things with him or with her and you don't like, let the person know. And if he's not able to correct it or stop whilst you are dating, don't ever think that he will stop or he or she will stop whilst married. And there should be good communication. The communication should be good. If communication is good, everything comes out good for you. Because if communication is good, somebody will not come and say a thing about you, your partner, that you don't even know. So wherever the person goes, the person will communicate to you. Whatever he's doing or she is doing, she will communicate with you. It will not give chance for any intruder to come and destroy that relationship. So basically, communication. If communication is good, I think all other things will fall in place.
Okay. So what about your advice to people who are in marriages? They've already taken the step, and right now things are so bad, they want to get a divorce. What's your advice to them?
Okay, I will not say divorce is good. So everybody should, even the little thing, you should come out from the marriage. No, I won't say that.
Okay.
In fact, if you are not tough and if you are not determined, you can't divorce. That doesn't mean that you have to kill yourself in that marriage too.
Okay.
First of all, even if you have not given birth, you should even think about yourself. if you have given birth, think about yourself and your kids. If you are not here today, if let's say if you die today, this death is not about being sick or somebody killing you physically, but the emotional trauma that you go through. In fact, I even got depressed along the line. And this thing can lead to high blood pressure. And high blood pressure gives so many kinds of diseases, sicknesses, and you might even lose your life or even have a deformity. Yeah. So being in a relationship that you think is toxic, you need to take a bold step. If you think if you do anything about it, the person cannot stop, or that thing is getting to the extreme, it's up to you. It's up to you to take a bold step. It's not easy, but let's say with determination, you can make it. You can come. So it's not good.
Ready. You have to be tough.
You have to be ready. You have to be ready for everything. In fact, the pressure will come from north, south, east, everywhere. So you have to be ready to face every obstacle that comes. But once you are free, you have your peace of mind. Because when I'm in that relationship, I wouldn't know where I would have been or where my children would have been. Yeah. But now, though financially things are not right, but I'm happy. I'm happy. I have my peace of mind. I'm happy. I have my kids. They are also happy. They don't even feel like there's no father. Yeah.
But there will be times that they will miss out on not having their father around. What is your plan for that?
Yeah. Oh, Lydia, definitely, as you said, I'm still young and I'm still beautiful,
Yeah.
So definitely, I will get married one day. I'll get married one day. But I just want them to understand now the second child is 8 plus. The first child is 10 plus, but she now gets certain things. She now understands certain things. But the second child, she's yet to. So I want her to be a little matured, at least from 10 going, so that when I take another step, she will understand me. She will know what is going on. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad to know that having gone through a divorce has not, puts marriage off for you. Some people would just say that even some breakups that they go through is so painful and difficult, they decide that, Charlie, I'm not doing again.
No, you
I'm glad to
say it. You will say it. Initially, you will say it. In the beginning, I said it to myself.
Okay.
But yes, as you are healing, and then sometimes when you are lonely, Lydia, it's not easy. Sometimes you feel like you need somebody to talk. Yeah. Oh yeah. Sometimes you feel like you need somebody to talk to. Sometimes you feel like you need somebody to touch you. No, that part is very important. So, whilst you are healing, you come back to your senses. When I get married, I will do it. Or when I get a relationship, I'll do it. But sometimes I have to think about my children, the well-being of my children. So once they are okay, I will take that step. So people say that, but that's the initial stage, because that time the wound is very deep. The wound is very deep. So any nonsense that comes into your mind, you say it. But once you are healing, or you are almost healed, that's where you put things in place. You put your strategies in place and you put your plans in place. Then you take the other step.
Okay. And what about people? People, we are about to end the conversation. I'm asking my final question. So if you have any questions, please drop them in the comments so that Akosua can answer them quickly for you. So Akosua, my final question to you is, what is your advice to people, married people in general, whether they are in a healthy relationship or not? What's your advice to them?
For the married people, whether they are in a healthy or bad relationship, they should be faithful and they should do what is expected of them. If you want something from your husband or your partner, and he or she also, let's say there should be respect for each other. let's say I want respect from you, I should be able to also give respect to my partner. So once there is that, I think any other things will fall in place. And as I said earlier on, communication. Some people are in a relationship, in marriage, but their communication is very poor. Sometimes even as a husband, you don't even know what your wife is doing. And as a wife, you don't even know what your husband is doing. His plans or her plans or her career, what is really going on in her career. But this will not help. But once you have good communication, you expect your husband to know this about you. That's the same way you should let your husband know this about the other side about you, so that at least it will balance. Don't expect more than what you give.
Okay.
That's a little like that.
Sure. Thank you so much. I think there are still no questions, so I'll quickly like to acknowledge our sponsors. If you want to sponsor the show, please send me a DM. Very, very cool deal, and help us to bring conversations like this to you month on month. Fragrances and More GH, Volta Mats, Pavon Concepts, Picture Magic, Original Barayi GH, Be Nice Catering Services, Pounds World, Triple Tree GH, White West African, Jire Events, G Sports, and Beauty Within Haven. They are sponsors this month. And Akwesi, I'd like you to also tell us a little bit about your business. You are an entrepreneur. Can you tell us a little about what you do? Maybe during the week we can make a post for you on Boy Meets Girl, so that some more people can get to know about your business.
Oh, okay. For now, I'm into production of Thom Browne.
Okay.
It's our foods. I've started with Thom Browne.
Okay.
So I'm even thinking of sponsoring Boy Meets Girl one-on-one.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, yeah. So my Thom Browne is very tasty. It's the ingredients are rice, wheat, and soya bean, which I combine to do it, and it's very nice. It's very nutritious.
Yeah.
So I'll be sponsoring a Boy Meets Girl one-on-one.
Okay.
Other material will fall in place, but for now,
yes,
I've started with Thom.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. This week we'll make a post on it so that people on Boy Meets Girl can see it and patronize you. Yeah. But thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us and for the invaluable advice you have given us. We wish you the very best, and we really will pray with you and the kids that everything will continue to fall in place for you. For everybody that joined us, thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye for now.
Too, dear. Bye.